Hey everyone, welcome. So excited to see all of you here for Adobe Live Education Edition. My name is Claudio Zavala Jr., Education Evangelist at Adobe, and I'm based in Texas. And today we're excited because we're going to be talking about all things fun, creative activities using Adobe Express for education.
Okay, let's high five it at the top for this. Claudio, I'm so excited to be here. Hey everybody, my name is Ann Cosma. I'm also one of the education evangelists, and we love supporting folks using Adobe tools across education. Today, we are talking all about cinematic storytelling and how Adobe Express can help level up that as a visual story. So are you ready to jump into this?
Yeah, so we're going to spend the next 55 minutes or so going over some of the powerful tools in Adobe Express for Education, the quick and easy content creation app for education by Adobe that's free for K through 12. I think a lot of people still don't know that it's free for K through 12.
I know.
K through 12. We're going to boost creativity, student engagement, and share tips on how you can supercharge productivity.
Okay, and Claudio, you know this about me. Folks, I love to say, push all the buttons and play to learn. Today, Claudio is doing a live demo, and we're definitely pushing buttons to show y'all how this works. So remember, you can use Adobe Express for Education in your classroom right away. And for those of you who may be new to Adobe Express for Education, if it's a new tool to you or you just don't know about all of the features, you can see a sneak peek on the home screen right now, the dynamic resources you have access to at your fingertips. And I'm looking, I think I'm sitting, right in front of a new tile, but right above me, you see Create a Video. And folks, Adobe Express is a quick and easy create everything app from Adobe. Free iOS, Android, also web-based. So it is that easy content creation app for K-12 education.
All right. Let's dive in to do that. So before we go into Adobe Express, we're going to talk a little bit because we're going to talk about cinematic storytelling. And so if you're joining us, just let us know where you're joining from in the chat. We're so glad that you're here with us. And if you have students as well, just say hi. Let us know where you're joining from. So one of the things about cinematic storytelling, and what is it really? But also it's not about Hollywood budgets.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing when you hear the word cinematic, sometimes you get intimidated. It's not about the budgets, but it's about the emotional impact.
And Claudio, let's unravel that just a little bit. When you talk about emotional impact, you're talking about things like intentional combination of visuals, sound, pacing, perspective, because the big idea is make your audience feel something.
Exactly. So thinking about those things as four elements: a visual intent, like what is the viewer going to see or notice when you share your story, and also like the what kind of emotional tone your video will have, and then like is it going to be slow, fast, like is it going to be intense, or like the rhythm of the story, and then again you mentioned perspective, like whose point of view are you going to be following? And so think of those things.
I love it. So again, crafting with purpose to make folks feel something, and even a 10-second, like a quick video, can feel cinematic because it's crafted with purpose.
So we're going to talk, like I said, we're going to talk about cinematic. And one of the things is I have this resource is available. We shared it. It'll be linked in the on the page, so you can get to this. So this is basically a cinematic storytelling made simple with Adobe Express. And so we're just going to scroll through here because I've got some things here that you can use as a resource in your class. So think about like filming basics, or if you're just diving into like telling stories and capturing footage, whether it's with your phone or if you have cameras, but you could also use the built-in video self-record in Adobe Express to do that. So I've got these links I won't click all through them because we'll need like 3 hours here. So, but like filming yourself, like lighting, we're in a studio here, so we have lighting, but you may not have lighting, but what are some ways that you can use natural light and like just like hack things like video hacks? So I've got those there. And then there's a little tutorial there on the video self-record feature, which is in Adobe Express. And then we're going to dive into this. We're going to talk a little bit about storyboarding right here before we get into Express. But what I have here, I won't click everything here, but I do want to point out there's a little link right here, which is a template that I've created, which is right here. This is a little storyboard template. And so we have ours right here. We have a paper, like a blank version here. One of the also things that that's available here, and I'm gonna see if I can zoom in here. Oh, hold on, let's see.
Y'all, this resource, as Claudio's
I'm
shifting
gonna hit
over
remix
his
here.
screen, this resource that he has created is dynamic from this storyboard template. And we're actually going to storyboard live as we come back into it. But that entire resource that he made is literally ready for you to remix. So take us into it.
So this was the blank one. So you can take one of these, and so think about when you're doing this, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a way of like how your shots are going to be taken, the ones, your video, what scene 1, scene 2, and so on. Now, what I've also done here, so if you want to dive into, so we can use the generative AI tool in Express here. So these are all generated. None of these were done by hand, but below you'll see there are prompts. I added the prompts here below, so you can kind of see if you want to use something like this in Adobe Express. This is available. You just go click on the image. The prompt is already in here. So basically I said it's a rough pencil sketch of a small town. So like if I was going to film this is like a school event happening, and so you got the teacher, and so this story was basically that. Yeah.
I want to jump in on this because look at that prompt right there. A rough pencil sketch of a small town from far away, rooftop trees, empty road, loose lines, no color, simple hand-drawn feel. Using the Gen AI possibilities in here to help storyboard, that's like a pro tip.
Yeah.
I'm not an artist. Sometimes I feel creatively challenged, even though I know everyone can be and is creative.
100%.
But this helps set up a visual in a really dynamic way and helps, I think, it's like that pre-write kind of exercise to feel ready. But think about, folks, how you could use that and seeing these prompts, the rough pencil sketch, literally, or jotting down your own. So I love this visual.
And also, and I've played with this. I've actually entered prompts in Spanish just to test it out, and it works well. So this is a great tool. And you mentioned something about building language. This is a great skill for that too. So language arts teachers, check it out. So again, click on it, generate images, so you can use the generative AI to again create the different scenes. But what we're going to do here is we're going to have a little fun here because we're going to do a little planning of our own right here.
Okay, so tell us what this exercise is going to be. And folks, if you want to do this, listen, literally set up, use that link. Thanks, Jack dropped it in the chat. We see that. But folks, you have access to that as a resource if you want, or literally sketch out on a piece of paper that you have in front of you. But
sticky notes or something like that. But anything you have, I would use sometimes an index card or something like that. So the story that I'm going to be telling is the story is celebrating things I'm thankful for. That's the cinematic story I want to tell. So think of we're just going to create like the image, or say the scene. So starting off because thankful for like a morning, like a gratitude morning. So like my idea is kind of like I'm gonna have the sun rising, and then kind of like the next thing would be family and friends kind of just hanging out and just and laughing, smiling, and so what I'm doing is just doing little sketches here. But some of the things that I'm grateful for is kind of like also being able to be outdoors, enjoying just getting outside and just kind of like having a nature reset. Also the things that I'm passionate about, which I love storytelling and I love using cameras. And then lastly would be just enjoying how just a wrap up, just what I'm grateful for, just maybe some feet walking away. So
all we're doing is stick figure type sketching. Yeah. So I'll let him share his, and then I'll share mine.
So basically, it's basically just stick figures. And I should have used it here. I'll do it really quick. There we go. Because basically, there we go. So we got that's the sun rising, and then we got the little stick figure people. It's a stick figure deal. So basically, that's it. That's all you know. It doesn't have to be super fancy. How about yours, Anne?
So also, I love in the comments, who doesn't love a nature reset? I think I love it. So my thankful for, and I know I'm not using a big black line marker, but you can maybe see just very rudimentary type sketches to help think through this process. The doors open, and this is walking down the hallway. You can see hands holding a big bowl, and then the bowl, random, but anytime I'm here at Adobe, Tater tots, y'all.
Yes.
Thankful for the tater tots that I can have. I don't have them. I'm not making them daily at my home office, but something I love from the cafeteria here.
And you were so nice to share those with me as well. So yeah, so easy. Very simple.
Yep.
Just tell the story. And again, this template's there. You can pull it down from that link, and it's in Adobe Express, or you can use a generative AI. So now, so we've done that. So now let's dive into actually, I guess we just start putting the story together.
Yeah, I love it.
But before we dive, in regards to storyboarding, think about how should we frame it?
Okay.
Say I would say get your shots organized. So you're not shooting 200 different clips.
Okay.
And then think ahead. So I like to think intentional, when you do something like that. So just plain and simple.
I love it. So, okay, so we've talked about this framework. We talked a little bit about this, how it sets up a beginning. What is setting the scene look like? What do we want the audience to know? The middle is building those moments and momentum. How do we keep folks curious, right? The end is a reveal or a takeaway. And we talked about crafting with purpose.
Yes.
What do we want? The cinematic storytelling, the sense, the emotion that we're evoking from people. And then the key shots, Claudio. I remember making videos with my students and thinking about what if we had only a limited number of shots in our video? What would we want them to be? To me, this is detail.
Yeah.
And I equate it to that detail in writing, right? We're just thinking about setting it up a different way.
I like that. That would be kind of a neat challenge to do at some point. You only have 3 shots, and that's all you have. So again, simple sketches.
Love it.
Doesn't have to be too fine detail. So again, the story that I'm going to be telling is celebrating the things that I'm thankful for.
Okay, cool.
So let's go ahead and let's start putting it together.
All right. So Claudio's screen's already up.
Yep.
He's guiding us through this live demo, and let's do it.
So in this scene, we have create a video right there. So I'm going to start because we're going to create a video. So let's go from scratch. So we're going to do this all from scratch. You can see step by step putting this together. One thing that I always forget to do is let's go celebrate.
He's giving his project a title, everybody, and my first grade teacher, Hart, always knows name on your paper. First thing,
oh my God.
I say that every time I'm working with folks. Give your project a title, otherwise you have a bunch of untitled projects.
And then just really quick recap, if you've not played with the video feature in Adobe Express, at the bottom, that's your time. That's where your timeline is going to be. So we're going to fill that up here. So the story that I'm going to tell, the first thing that I want to create is the morning gratitude moments, and just being every morning waking up and being able to be alive, basically. So I'm going to go over here to the left column and look for media, and your buttons may look slightly different because I know there's some testing going on, so you may have some different. You just look for the media button, and then we have videos. I'm going to be using videos. We have photos, but in this case, videos. And the thing about the videos here in Adobe Express, they're basically, I would say, thousands of stock video that you have available to you. It's I've shot video. I have videos on my phone and camera, but I'm you know what? I'm going to use some stock footage to put my story together, because also this is for you all. You may not have the video footage, so I'm going to show you how you can use stock footage to create the cinematic story. So the first thing is the sun rising, a sunrise. So that's going to be my grateful moment. So at the bottom, you can see right there, I'm doing a search. I'm entering the word sunrise. And so what I want to do is find a clip that kind of has the sunrise, somewhat similar to my backyard. And so this one right here it reminds me right now it's fall, so a lot of the trees are starting to be a lot barer.
And that golden amber just sets the tone, right?
So we got that morning. So there we go. So I'm just gonna have that just play through, so you'll see. And this is a fairly long clip, so I may not use the whole clip, but I just want to. But again, we're cinematic. We're talking about motion.
Yep. And
so you want to give that movement. So when you're adding the video clip, so what I'm going to do is we're going to add some additional clips. So that's the first thing that I'm grateful for is the morning.
I love it.
Now, friends and family. So multiple ways to do this, and so you can do this different ways. The way that I'll do it is right here at the bottom. It says add media. We'll click here and do a blank scene. So now we've got a blank scene, and because I've already got sunrise here, it's already been saved. So the next thing is we're gonna see let's have friends together. So let's see here.
I love too that as you're putting in your search query, there are suggestions that pop up.
Yeah.
And y'all, if you have not used the stock library, there's media, audio, photos. It is a dynamic resource built into Express.
Yeah.
But your search query, not only with those suggestions, but all of the references that pop up make it like, oh, hey, I can customize this or choose what evokes the sense of purpose that I'm going for.
And yes, and so, and also now you may be thinking, well, Clark, nobody in those stock videos look like me, and it's really not about looking like me. It's I'm telling the story of family and friends. So this one right here is the one I'm going to be picking for this project. Now you'll have this option: add as a layer on the canvas, which is already there, or add as a sequence there. So either one of those, boom, and I've just got it here.
I love it.
I'm going to do a quick little stretch. So I don't know if you can see, there's a little white bar on the top and bottom just because it doesn't fit. So I'm just going to do a little stretch out just to make sure it fits. And so I've got the scene going from here. So again, morning, I'm thankful for, and then friends and family, and then we're laughing together stuff. So, so I'm going to do a little fast forward here, and because I've already got kind of put together, I've already got
hey.
So I went ahead and let's do a little fast forward in time right there. So I've already got the other scenes here. So this one right here, I did the same, just so you know, the steps that I took. It's basically, again, going back to the media, and that one was bike riding.
Yeah.
And then the next scene.
I was going to say, let's talk about that media for a second before we jump into music, because we have time to dig into this a little bit deeper. Like when you're using that stock imagery, folks, some pro tips or just suggestions. Think about it in terms of like a thematic search. He chose friends, used a word like together, the sunrise that he went for. You see him searching for this first person perspective of like mountain biking. I know that's something that he loves to do because I've known him as a friend for many, many years. And if you know Claudio, you know he's always off on an adventure. But like a thematic search for that stock content that could lead to like the mood or emotion of something. Words like epic or dramatic might help enhance that search. Scene types, right?
Yeah.
So made a note about scene types. Is it action? Is it adventure? Is it mysterious? Is it dramatic?
Yeah.
What might you be going for? Instrumentation, right?
Yep.
And I know we're going to get into like some background music, enhancing it with some transitions, but like how even things like that being hyper specific in your search query can help set up that cinematic aspect and that cinematic feel to it.
Think of like, because we talked about at the beginning, setting that emotional impact that as a person is watching it. So are you wanting like an energetic, do you want it to be energetic? Do you want it to be kind of relaxed? So like look for footage that matches that.
Yeah.
So I actually,
speaking of footage, literally
footage. And so while you were talking, I went ahead and added it because I do want to talk about before, because the other one's kind of already been trimmed, but I do, since we're talking about like creating this video project, cinematic story. Now this clip right here, as I mentioned, it's about a 24-second clip.
Oh, that's a long clip.
It's a long clip. And so, and then this one over here is 5.5 seconds long. This one over here, the camera one, that's about 5. So actually what I want to do is have everything kind of match the 5 seconds.
Okay.
And so here's a tip that you can do in Express. So first off, I'm gonna wiggle my cursor right here so you can see it. I'm going to grab the handle here on the right, and we're going to trim this down. So if you see how the timer there, the seconds is counting down, and that's basically I'm trimming it down to I'll go about 5.5 seconds. And then I'm going to do on the bottom right. You can't see it because I'm actually covering it right now. So there's a little zoom. There's a little handle. Oh, look at that! It magically happened. So
there it is.
I'm going to move this to the right, so that way I can see like a little bit more of that clip. So basically, what I've done is it is now 5 seconds, and this is a fantastic feature right here. So just to show you. There it is, 5 seconds. It's showing right there, 5.4 seconds. There's this little snowman laying down right there. Boom. And then right here, apply.
Nice.
Duration to all. Now look at that.
That's one of those tricks that, like, when I say every click matters to speed up workflow, it's one of those hidden gems. If you don't know, he called it a snowman laying down, 3 dots, whatever. Push those buttons because other features are nested in there, allowing you to either speed up workflow, productivity, but also like a transformational edit hack.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So now this clip is about, 30 seconds long, which is just about like just a quick story that I want to tell about like the things that I'm grateful for. Now, neither clips or none of these clips have any audio attached to it.
Okay.
It's just footage. So we want to add a feel to this.
Yeah.
And so this is I'm thinking grateful, something like heartful. So we're going to go to media. And we're going to go to audio. Similar to what we did for the videos, we searched like walking. So you can go through, the wonderful thing here is there's so many genres here: acoustic, background, blues, brass. A blues music might not fit this theme because, blues is a little more upbeat. Although, blues can be cool, but I don't want this to be bluesy. Not to, I love blues music, but that's not what's going to fit here. And then we have like this film style music. But one thing you can do is in the search feature, you can type in like moods.
Yeah.
So for example, if I type in the word happy, and so here are all these different like happy musics like future tech. Let's see. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that, but we got future tech playing. Spring festival, so doobie doo, funky loop, happy birthday to you, show me again. So these are all happy. Now, I can even go and type in something like cinematic, so I can have cinematic style.
Yeah,
music.
match that tone, match that theme. And the search is so powerful, even then just reading some of the words, clicking on it to preview and hear that sample of what it looks like.
Yeah, so we have this one, autumn folk acoustic main, haunting piano. Now, some of these you'll notice they're very short because they're just kind of like little cinematic, like stabs or something like that, like music, like shots, like effects or something like that. But the one that we were kind of prepping this was this one, The Rise of the Goddess. That one's kind of fit nicely. So this one's about 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And the neat thing here is what I'll do is I will select it and bam, now it's added. Here's the cool thing. It automatically trims for me the length. Like it doesn't go off the charts like per se.
Yeah.
It matches. And if I continue adding scenes, it'll keep stretching the music. Now, while we're here, it says audio. Here's some other, like, again, adding that cinematic feel to the music. A lot of times if you're listening or watching a movie, if you're hearing the music, there's like
It's the end.
And it rises up and then it fades out. So you have your fades in and fade out right here. And you can decide how, like, make it just about a second long of a fade in and a fade out.
I was going to say the rise and fall of that to even match whatever tone you're going for.
Yeah.
I love that you can do the in and out with one button click, but you're using that slider to like transfer the duration. And that's a really meaningful thing too, because do you want it to come on fast? Do you want it to be like a slow build?
Yeah.
These are just those little hacks that you all can put into your cinematic storytelling that completely transform a finished product.
And now the next thing, now that track is added for the whole thing. So the intro fade in is going to be at the beginning, at the very end. You could get super, like you can get even more fine tuned with the project if you wanted to. Is in between each scene, you can. I'm going to show you their. Look again for the little snowman. Right now it's like on the bottom right. So what I'm doing is looking for an option right there. You'll see you can cut, which basically, or use a split. Actually, what I want to do is split. And what it does, so now I can add a different soundtrack if I want to the second scene. Okay. But because this is such a short clip, I want to use this soundtrack for the whole thing. So I'm just going to click undo because I want this to be the music for the whole thing.
The power of the undo button.
Power of undo. So again, you have the creative control. That's the thing I love about being in Adobe Express. Each teacher, students, you have the creative control. You can go, I'm going to want one soundtrack for the whole thing, or individual soundtracks for each of the clips. Again, have fun with that. So try it out. Now, let's talk about some visual enhancements
Yeah.
to these projects. So, because so if I scroll, I'm going to scrub through. So you see, if looking through, these are great, but they somewhat like don't seem to match. Like maybe I didn't shoot them with the same camera. Probably they weren't shot with the same camera. But I want to have kind of a consistent look to my project. So the first off, this is like golden hour in the morning. So what I could do is over here on the left, we're gonna close this out just to bring it back up. And then you have your video, you have effects. Now we have some limited tone effects. So if I can make it like a grayscale. Mm-hmm. So I can make my whole project grayscale if I wanted to. I would go to each clip and go grayscale. Something I want to create like a black and white type shot, but I do want this to be in color because I want to convey that the color. Now I'm going to come down here to adjust. Here, let me show you that again. Adjust, and here we have. So you have warmth. So I can make it even more golden.
Oh yeah.
Or I can make it, I would say, drop some of that warmness.
Yeah.
That's kind of got cooler. And again, so like depending on the story you want to tell, if it's warm, it's going to have kind of like a, like
that happy
feel. And sometimes the cool tones are kind of dramatic, So if you think of some of your favorite movies, hero movies and stuff, like you'll notice that some of them have kind of cooler tones because it's kind of have like that grittiness to the movie, and some of them will have a warmer tone, and some of them will be black and white. So you might, now that I say that, you're going to watch the shows and think of that.
I think this button too, the color adjustment, like it's probably also an underutilized resource if people aren't doing those sort of fine edits. But again, you'll notice as Claudio's like scrubbing through those, try it. See how it changes what the visual element looks like, but how changing and enhancing or transforming color, like that completely changes a visual aspect of the story. So,
and since you mentioned, now I'm going to come, because I want to have it match. So now I'm going to add some warmth to this one. So notice like, here I'm gonna go super drastic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go super warm. So so I wanted to match the other one and maybe give it a little more saturation, a little warmer. So because I wanted to kind of fit this
and flow. Yeah.
So I like that right there. And then so I'm gonna go now to this next one, and basically I'm gonna go to each of these and add like some warmth, add a little saturation, maybe adjust the brightness depending on what you have. Like, it's funny, and like that, I actually have some footage that looks just like that with a 360 camera. So it was like, that could be me.
That's great stock footage because I thought it was yours. So
and now we'll go to this one here. So basically, I'm going through each of these scenes.
Slide it down the warmth. Bring the warmth way down. Yeah. Look at how cold it looks. Like that looks almost like a winter, like the cold, the blues that are coming out. And then when you slide the other way,
And so again, what I'm trying to do is have a consistent look, thematic look to my story here in Express. And so I'll go to the last one right here, the footage. Okay, so we're going warmth. We're gonna add some warmth to that. Maybe add some extra saturation there. Maybe bring down the brightness, a bit, the contrast. There we go. So now if I hit play, and we'll see this kind of like, so we've got the sunrise. So they're getting thankful for these things, and it's got that thematic look through my entire thing. And that's when, again, we're thinking cinematically. Like those are the things you want to do. Like to have that thematic look for your project, the mood, the feel. Is it warm? Is it cool? The lighting that you want to add to this, the shadows and stuff. So like I did that right here, like with this one. Go back to adjustment. So like here are the shadows, so we can bring down some of those shadows. I can go back through each of those, and maybe I want to bring down the shadows on each of these. Like,
one thing too, as we talk about building and designing these videos, and I know you love capturing content and you're putting out content often, not only to help people learn about how to use Adobe tools, but also like your own storytelling in it. And I think about these colors and these color adjustments,
Yeah.
like that directional light also guides like your viewer's eyes into something.
Yeah.
So like from that perspective, the sun on the horizon coming through the trees, the center view of like the friends gathered together, that first person perspective looking, but even though it's kind of looking down from the helmet,
Yeah.
it's still like forward, like
Yeah.
forward motion, and then straight into that camera eye, and then somebody walking right at you. So like the light even impacts like where your viewer's gaze is going.
I'm glad, and then that you caught that right there.
Yeah.
It's like the perspective,
Yeah.
the look, and then like this is like walking away may seem negative,
Mm-hmm.
walking forward maybe seem positive. I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah.
It just depends on how you're trying to convey. So we've got the colors. So now let's a little more enhancement. Maybe let's talk about transitions between the scenes. So maybe at the start of this one, let's go back to here, and so we've got our. Again, we're here on edit, and maybe what I want to do here is as I go from this scene to this one right here. So this is one of those other tools that's, I think a lot of people don't realize it's here. You got this little plus sign right here. I'm going to click, and that's in between the scenes. So you'll only see that when you have multiple scenes. Click there. I could add another scene, but what I want to do is add a transition. So, you know, if you think about your favorite movies that you watch, the stories that are told that you watch, and when they go from scene to scene, sometimes
Yeah.
they'll cut. It's like just to go from one scene to another. And sometimes, like depending on like some of your favorite movies, they'll have like a circle. When it comes in, it goes out to the next scene. So you can kind of get creative like that. Here, you can do like this. What we call this push, something like that. You can do like a wipe like that. One of the ones that's kind of that right there is kind of like a dissolve, which
Yeah.
kind of goes from one scene to another. That's kind of like when people add that, it's like instantly like, oh, it's kind of like a little cinematic look. Or
Well, and as you hover over them, it plays a preview of what that transition looks like. So if you want to see it, literally hover over it and you get the visual to know how it could impact your storytelling.
And then if you click, so I selected the dissolve, and then what you can do is you can adjust how much of the dissolve in between. You know, it's like 3 seconds is very long because
Oh,
the
play it.
clips.
Let's see how long it actually
Yeah.
looks
So-
like.
So here, we're going to play that. So it's 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. And there's like the 3 seconds, which
Yeah.
actually is not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
But slide it all the way and make it go as fast as it can. And let's see
So
that.
point 25.
It's done. There it is.
Here we go. So we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, so what I'm going to do is go back and maybe just bring it up to like about, it's already at, oh, hold on. Undo. Let's see, hold on. We're going to undo. We're going to go back to this one here because you said undo is a great button. There it is.
Yep.
The undo up there. Coming back here, I'm going to go back to the dissolve. We're going to maybe make it about 0.7 of a second. And this right here, magic. Apply to all scenes. Click there, and immediately now I have that same transition in between each of these scenes, which is fantastic. Look at that. And then I go hanging out with friends. We're like, oh, we're laughing, we're having a good time, and then we go to the next one. And so something else you can add as far as like motion between the scenes or per scenes, like let's try this, for example, the bike scene here, because you have the animation tool in Express. So we're going to come up here to animation. And if you've not seen, these are some of the newer ones right here, the visibility ones. There's a circle. I talked about the circle, you know, like, and so it basically it's like the scene go, whoop, you know, I'm making my own sound effects right here.
Do it again. Do it again.
Whoop. And then we got the fade. And so I'm going to do the circle. Look at that. So basically what happens when it'll go between this scene. So maybe what I'll do is instead of this, and here's the neat thing, is I'll come back here in between this scene, and I won't do that fade between here, because what I want that to happen.
It's like into an action sequence, and it almost like gives off like a fisheye lens too.
Yeah. And so what I want to do also is I'm going to go to the background and change it to black because I kind of, because again, it's the color of the cinematic look I have, and I want it to be like that right there. And even what I may do, actually, let's do this.
That's cool.
Let's have a little fun here. We're going to use the dropper here. And I'm actually going to pull color from it here to kind of have right there, kind of like that color right there. And so now the background color is kind of like, there we go. And maybe just it's slightly a little bit darker. So I'm going to custom here. I'm just going to drag that down. So it's not black. It's like a dark rich.
I mean, it's like the
brown.
earth color
Yeah.
too on the trail that's being.
And so here we have this. We go back to our circle here, and here's the thing. Now, here's the other thing, personality. So this is another. We got smooth, energetic. Now, most of the story I'm telling, the cinematic look, has been kind of calm.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be like strong. I don't want it to be energetic. I want it to be smooth, and I do want it to be just a little bit. There we go. Maybe a little bit longer than that.
I think too.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there it is.
Perfect. So now if I come from this scene, and there we go. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So again, you have that creative control for each of the scenes, the transitions, and so on. So try those out. Again, you just click on it and then hit that animation and try the barn door effect is cool. The flicker one, the fade, which is basically what we did in between the scenes. So think of like the motion and animation, the pushes, the subtleness of this, and baby, the sky's the limit.
So scroll down on the choices
Yeah.
because like the move, the push, I wouldn't use some of those necessarily.
Yeah.
Not in this type of storytelling. It could almost be a little bit too jarring,
Yeah,
but they do exist. So it just depends on what kind of like sense you're trying to evoke or the
Yeah.
story, the way you're telling it. But again, I love and coach folks to like literally hover over them,
Yep.
see what possibility exists, because you'll either be like, yes, that enhances it, or not the right one for
Yeah,
me.
and while you said this, I just kind of was hovering over it, and then like the shutter, because that's a shutter. I was like, maybe I'll try that one. Let's see
Or
if I-
like
yeah.
click.
Yeah, so let's see. We'll go here and shutter. Yeah, I think it did it right as it went in.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then boom, then we have the ending there. So again, so we've added the music to kind of give a little bit of emotion. But the kind of as we get closer to like wrapping up this project, think of like the pacing
Okay.
and how the story flows. So I decided to make them 5-second clips. Now this clip right here. So first let's look at this one. It's kind of got like a slow panning shot right there. It's kind of slow. The friends, it's kind of got that
Oh, it's
slow
so
motion.
happy.
And then when I get here, it's a little bit like too fast. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click the bike clip here, and we're gonna go back to edit. And this is another one of those unsung heroes in Express.
Okay, I hadn't even considered this. So I know what you're about to do because I see where you're going to click next. Hadn't even considered this. This is like one of those pro tips that.
So right here, basically, now it's basically we have it at increments of like a 50, faster, 200%
Yep.
faster. I'm gonna go 100%. Let's see, 50% of the speed and then a quarter of the speed. Now I don't know if you noticed like behind our heads right there, as in the screen. So you see that? See what's happening right there? That's the original. That's the original
Literally
clip. See
right
this
here,
right here
yeah.
behind us. And as I make it faster, see how it shortens it?
Yeah.
And when I slow it down, so basically it's taking the footage and slowing it down, but because it's doing that, it's actually stretching it. However, we're only seeing 5.6 seconds of
Yeah.
it. We're still seeing it. So now let's see how, actually, let me go from here and we'll hit play. And so
Slow mo.
So it's slow mo. So
Yeah.
maybe what I'm gonna go maybe to that percentage. So let's see. Let's bring it back here and let's hit play. And okay, that's good. The other one was it almost was like it was stop animation.
Yeah.
And then that one's kind of slow already. And then the footage. Sorry, I can't resist saying keep using that. And that's the slow. So everything seems to
yeah.
have that pacing,
Yeah.
that flow.
Yeah.
So it's like. So you think about like the moments of where to like speed it up, where to slow it down. You want it to breathe.
Yeah.
You think of the different things you can add to your stories. Again, sound effects. So I could add sound effects here if I want to find footstep noises, but
Yeah.
but I don't want to do. I kind of want it to be some nice, a simple soundtrack in the background.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Okay, world premiere time? I mean, I feel like you need to play it again.
So let's hit play, and hopefully you can hear some of the music there.
And your gratitude moment.
Gratitude moment, and so I've got friends, and again this represents just like family and friends having a good time. I'm grateful for and being that nature reset. outdoors, which I try to do every day, and the things that I'm passionate about, like capturing stories and telling them, and you just like moments of peace and tranquility. Look at that.
Oh.
So one thing I'm actually going to add before next thing is, and this is a little hack here as well. So what I want to do is I want this to fade out. So basically, if I come over here, if I go to out, so I want my cinematic story to kind of fade to black.
Okay.
So we're going to go fade. And let's click in here, the duration of that fade out, like 0.8 of a second. Now it's fading to white because the background of this scene is in white. So what I'm going to come up here to background, go to the swatches, we're going to go black, so that's the background is black.
That's a really smart little tip too that folks might not actually put into their video creation content. So again, background color, change from that bright white to like the solid black background.
There we go, fade to black. So
it's a nice close.
And that is our story. Now, some of the other things, if I wanted to, I can come back to media, and this is all, again, it's your story to tell. You make it as cinematic. You have control of the story. You can come over here to audio, and you can use your record voiceover, so you can add like a narrative, because I've seen cinematic stories where like back when I was born.
That reminiscing.
Little Morgan Freeman voice right there. So you can add like a voice to your story, and so. But in this case, I kind of want the music and I want the visuals to be what tells the story. So.
I just jumped. So you're using that voice as like this like reflective gratitude, but I also just had this whole vision. This is how my brain works, of like a pirate thematic swashbuckling thing, because Claudio also does a really good pirate voice, y'all.
And I don't know if this is a pirate. Oh, here's we have the. I don't know if it'll fit the story, because it'll turn into a comedy cinematic story.
But show that again, media. And then the audio options. Again, so as educators, students, anybody who's creating content, that voiceover feature is so dynamic, but also the other little button underneath it is one of my favorite buttons inside of Adobe Express, that animate character, and you could literally have, if you want to be off camera as yourself, use one of those to bring in authentic voice.
So again, you can take again, I went with basics, but again, you have that creative control.
It's brilliant.
You can add more to this, add more scenes. Your story. Now, a question I always get, like, people ask, like, how long should my story be?
Okay,
like,
good
how many
question.
seconds?
Good question.
And it's like, you know what? That is up to you. Like, there's no like, the story needs to be this long. Like the guidelines say the story. It's really up to you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I always think too, like there's some producers out there, like the film producers, and I don't know if I'm not gonna name them for copyright, maybe not, but I've heard one say like, I make these stories for me because I want to see the stories, and whether someone likes it or not, but I want to enjoy it first.
Yeah. If
I don't enjoy it, then someone else not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you enjoy it first of all, because it's your story. So. Okay, so we had our debut. So my story's in here.
And the next question, Claudio, is we've made this. Students are making this. Educators, folks everywhere. Once they make their cinematic masterpiece, the sharing and celebrating and showcasing of the content. Yeah. So talk us through the flow about downloading or sharing, and then we have one really cool feature we want to point out too.
We're going to hit that download button. We've got that little arrow pointing down. It's already set because I've already worked on this video project. It's already there. It's an MP4 for video audio. It's already there. Now it's by default going to be a 1080. Like if you get one of those nerds with like resolution nerds like myself, you might want to do 4K. We have the 720 option, but I would say at minimum the 1080.
Just keep it original. That's what I always do. I don't make any changes.
Just hit download, and it's going to download and save to my computer here. So if you're depending on the device you're using, if you have a Chromebook, it'll save it to the Chromebook, Google Drive on the Chromebook, or again on your hard drive here. Now I'm going to go ahead and just cancel just to move up to the next thing here, because again, save it, and then I can post it anywhere. I can store it in different types of storage files, cloud service.
So that's the download button.
Then we have the share. And so sharing is caring, obviously. Now you can invite people to be collaborators with your cinematic story. And we're going to go down here to the view only link. And this was like a recent update, display the author. You can turn that on or off. Basically what it'll do is I'll hit create link. It's going to create a unique URL link for your project. It's not an indexed link, so like no one can go search for celebrate thankful. It's like it's not a searchable link. They won't find it.
Okay.
Only by sharing. So this is so once that link is created, then I can send it off like through like my school LMS, like a classroom type of feature. Email it. I can text it. Send it to
make a QR code to it.
Yeah. And then like one of the things, like you share it with teachers, students, and share them with you. You share it with parents, but then have some sort of film festival celebration, like debut of create that popcorn moment for your students.
Yeah.
The red carpet, like, hey guys, we're gonna watch everybody's story today, and then like literally make a big thing, like a big scene, like red carpet, get some popcorn, and it's like everybody's story is gonna be shared today in our class, and then literally like make it like a celebration.
Maybe you can pop us to the other side of the screen and we show what that looks like there. So you see that link gets generated. It says anyone with the link can use the file as a template. You won't know who's, oh, that's the template remix. Allow others to remix. Sorry, that's the helper text below that. Literally, the copy link is what you're looking for. And but you're talking about a showcase.
Yes.
You're talking about a film festival, a celebration. There are a few other things that could happen in regards to sharing that. Since we're in an educator account, that assign button, if teachers had made the assignment, it would say turn in. And so one of the really cool things, you'll notice there's a toggle right there for educators to create galleries. To me, this is that showcase piece. The galleries, folks, if you have not used galleries inside of Adobe Express, it is exactly what you think it is. It is the showcase of the work that is being submitted or created. It is that array style grid of work. If educators have enabled this, students will turn in their work. That purple button will say turn in, and students will submit their work leveraging the Adobe Express Classrooms feature. And those galleries are beautiful showcases of learning. And it's such a great way to have all of the content in one space. Educators can actually create view-only links and share those. Families, guardians, the administrators on campus, your local community who might be involved with it, your peer network or professional network. And did you see, this is a really fun update this week for some of that customization, but Claudio's showing what one of those galleries in its empty state could look like. But this, to me, this right is there. Where you have your film festival. Yeah, and popcorn, of course.
Yeah, so then each of your students' films, cinematic stories are right here. And like I said, create that moment for the students, like celebrate the stories that they're going to share. And like I said, the popcorn, dim the lights, and
oh my gosh. And shout out to the team. I know they're working on some really cool updates for galleries, so y'all will continue to see some new little updates happening in this space. But I love that you can now customize the galleries, the background color, etc. But this is that celebration. Oh my gosh. Well, Claudio, that was like a super fun jump through cinematic storytelling.
Yeah,
we got one more pro thing, right?
So we spent the time talking about the cinematic storytelling footage in Adobe Express. Like the narrative story you can tell, bringing your vision to life. And we're going to talk about one more thing here about the power of that, like an opportunity of storytelling in this thing which is called the edit. And so I'm showing it right here. This is the edit. This is a partnership between NBCU Academy and Adobe.
So I love it. You can see right on screen, it's a free digital storytelling challenge that gives middle school students and high school students the opportunity to tell stories that matter. And the ones that they're kind of grouped into, it's like physical, mental, financial well-being stories. Think of these as those PSAs, or what your passion and the advocacy that you want to tell in your storytelling.
Go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
just going to say, so like in your words, what you're seeing on
Yeah.
screen, I love this partnership between NBCU Academy and Adobe because it literally is like storytelling with purpose.
Yeah, and so this is open for students 6th to 12th grade in U.S. and the U.K.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free, no cost to register or participate, and students can work in teams or individually. I mean, this is just a great opportunity.
Yeah. Scroll down a teeny tiny bit more. Notice it says compete for prizes. So it is a nationwide contest, and there is information for educators to learn a little bit more how to participate. But again, it's an opportunity, storytelling, building real world media skills, digital literacy skills. Educators, these are like ready to go projects for you to participate in with your learning community. And not only that storytelling piece, the collaboration piece, the technology aspects, the communication aspects, but the structure and the way that it's set up. Step 1,
Yeah.
prep it,
Yep.
do your research, script your story. Step 2, make it, right? Do the recording if needed, organize, tie your project together with the footage that you're sharing. Step 3, shape it all, right? Adding your voice, fine-tuning your visuals, making any of those edits, finalizing what you're doing. And 4, compete, right? Submit your finished product for the fun and chance to win
there, the
some
prizes.
awesome prizes too.
So what can you do next? So the link that we're sharing, it'll be on the page or the web page. You can pre-register for the edit. So basically, this is so you can get information once it's open, because it'll be open in 2026. But you can get pre-registered, and as soon as it goes
Yeah.
live, boom, you'll get the notification.
I love it. Oh my gosh, Claudio.
Whew!
Cinematic storytelling.
Yes.
Crafting with purpose, intention, evoking that emotional storytelling. I definitely know you believe this. I believe this. Our
Yes.
team and folks that we work with at Adobe, this can be done not only for any academic purpose,
Yeah.
but it could be done in life, in those things that you feel passionate about, what you feel drawn to. But what a fun spin through seeing the clicks of the buttons,
Yes.
the demo, how to use that stock footage, how to add those transitions, how to support with, enhance even
Yes.
with that background audio. It's like a full
It
package.
is. Yeah, it's such a I was have fun with this. This is it's a ton of fun. Give it a shot, like you said. Press all the buttons, and
Yeah.
thank you all of you who joined us for today. Encourage you, try this out.
Yeah.
Tell your stories.
We love that. So, folks, there is always something dynamic happening here on the Adobe Live community YouTube page. We definitely want to encourage you, subscribe. There is phenomenal video
So many great
resources,
ones. Yes.
tutorials, supports, insights, pro tips, opportunities to continue to learn. So we want to encourage you, smash that
Yeah.
subscribe button, get connected at the Adobe Live community,
button.
and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.
Yes, because speaking of the next live stream, so we want you to join us for the next Education Edition on Thursday, December 4th, 1 p.m.
Yep.
Pacific. Our colleague Shell McConville and special guest Lydia Hall, they're going to give you a first look at Project Aqua, a brand new kid-friendly creativity app from Adobe. You do not want to miss it.
It's so good.
Yeah, so
y'all, it's so
sign
good.
up. Make sure to sign up so you don't miss it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. This was a lot of fun, and another high five. This is always fun to hang out with you and talk about creativity, storytelling. Everyone,
Peace, y'all. Take care. See you next time.
mucho amor, everybody.